Welcome to the channel again, collectors. So you can tell that I like the Lamboghini Countach, and these are all by a company called Kyosho. The orange one is your stock early version, the LP400. Yeah, LP400. So it's a nice clean styling, by Marcello Gandini. It's nice. But I also picked up this black version, and this is from a Japanese cartoon called the Circuit Wolf. It's basically the same model, but it just has the number 12 printed on it. So that's the only variation. But this is a physical variation. This is the LP500S. Okay, so now it's got the Fender Flares and this wing and stuff. So it's kind of like the Lambo I remember as a kid, and it's got the 5-hole spokes. I guess they're not spokes, just 5-hole wheels, versus the original, which are more like fan blades or something like that. But if you look at the image behind on the computer screen, this is a one-off car for a Japanese gentleman. It's called the LP500R. I did a search for it online. I couldn't find any information except for a YouTube video, and I believe these are screen captures or something from that video. So the video is all in Japanese, so I couldn't decipher any of it. But I just feel it's probably an enthusiast that had a 500S and put different wheels and interior, perhaps, and the stripes on it. So I think that's great for an enthusiast to do. But what's nicer is Kyosho, being a Japanese brand, they'll go ahead and make models of random vehicles like that. Cartoon cars, or in this case, some affluent Japanese man's car. So unfortunately I don't have a box for this thing, nor the card that usually comes with these blister packs. But yeah, Kyosho literally calls it the 500R. And let's take a closer look and see how cool it is. Okay, so it doesn't have fender flares, that's what I'm noticing there. It's got these mesh wheels. Granted, it's kind of hard to see because they're black mesh wheels, but maybe in that light. And then it's got a rear wing, but it's different from the LP500S. It's a different wing, I think. We'll compare them at the end. And then naturally it's got the white pinstriping that actually looks kind of cool, how it wraps around like that. It actually wraps underneath the NACA vent in the side. Okay, so let's see about the rear here. Yeah, the graphics match up, I think. I think Kyosho did a good job. It's highly probable that this Japanese person gave Kyosho this car and they had it in their studio, because I would. If someone called me up and said, hey, can we make a model of your car? I'd definitely lend them my car, for sure. Okay, so let's take a closer look here. It's gonna be a little tough being a black car to see all the details, just so many reflections. But let's start with the top here. Depressions there, I'm not sure what those are. The Marcello Gandini, he designed a lot of trapezoids in this thing, and so there's trapezoids everywhere. Raised black windshield wiper blade, black molding around the windows, just a plain black interior. Can't see many details there. So this white striping here, it's a tampo print, it's not a decal, so that's good. I mean, I guess it must be stamped twice. You can see a brake there, right? So they tampo printed this, and that's the brake, and then they tampo printed this stripe on the side. It's pretty well done. The lines are matching up relatively close. The bowl there, unfortunately, there's some paint rash developing here. These lights are pretty cool. You can see, there's a rectangle behind the clear, but the clear itself has these ribs on it. So that looks pretty good. The gold crest of the bowl there looks pretty good as well. That's some weird. Oh, never mind. Not sure what that was. Tiny little blobby mirrors, but they seem relatively accurate to the photographs. That person put some small mirrors on his car. Okay. So let's see these wheels. Yeah, they look like BBS wheels to me. Okay. Nice chrome or silver paint here around the rim, and then the center is black, so that's pretty good. The tires, yeah, they're okay. There's a little bit of curvature on the sidewalls. This is printed nicely, Countach LP500R. There's a little orange here for the marker there. There's actually black paint in this. It's a different black than the rest of the body. You know, this is like matte black, whereas the body's gloss coated. Same up here. This is like a matte black here. And then we have the black around the windows. Little window there is pretty neat. This wing, you got the white pinstriping on the end of the wings. So that's pretty good detail. Great taillights. Those are really cool to look at. You know, a good breakup of the color. And just the styling, you know. Kudos to Gandini. The text here, we got Lamboghini and Countach. Countach, it's pronounced, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's printed nicely. Unfortunately, no depth there to the end of the exhaust, but at least they're painted silver. Good tire treads. The rear wing struts, they're not as thin as I've seen them. I'm not sure if they're accurate. They could be accurate to the real car, though. It's hard to say. Couldn't find many photographs of the real one. Okay, this side, I gotta back out again. Yeah, seems pretty good. No major defects. The bottom here. Yeah. Whoa, man, those could be the biggest tires I've seen on a Kyosho model. I mean, those are massive. I mean, this front tire looks like a rear tire on a lot of Kyoshos. So this must be an old model because it's press fit together. It's not screwed together like the later ones. And then this exhaust is actually covering that rivet there. Does it roll? Maybe some. Nope. Not feeling it. Some sort of friction right there I can feel. It's possible. I don't know. Yeah, also in the rear as well. It's quite a lot of friction. It's probably the tire rubbing the casting there on the back. The front I can't explain. Okay, well, anyways, some white stripe up on the top here following that as well, so that's neat. It's not a disaster. I mean, there's paint bubbling for sure, maybe you can see right there, but it's not bad. So it could have definitely been worse. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's a one-off car, and it's interesting that Kyosho would make that, you know, how they would make tooling for that. Because the rear wing is different from the normal one. So let's bring back these normal ones and compare them. Okay, let's keep that photo in the back. So this, old one, it doesn't have fender flares either, but it's got that slash cut in the rear wheel well. Whereas the black one is more round. Where is there a fender flare? I guess it is a fender flare. It's hard to tell, but I think it actually does match the fender flare of this blue one. So, the wing though, sorry if I lost focus there. The wing is definitely different, right? It's higher up. It's beefier. It's much beefier. And then I do like the exhaust. Actually, this is a different casting for sure, because the exhausts here stick out a lot more than the exhausts on those, on the blue car. Let me get a top view here. Yeah, the wing profile is the biggest difference for me. And the wheels, yeah, definitely the wheels. Trying to see if there's anything else. Maybe not. I think the windshield might be different. If you look at the wiper blades, I think the angle is different. Yeah, they are. So that's really interesting that, you know, they made a separate glass piece for each of these models. I would think that, you know, they would be the same shape overall. It looks like that's the same car, but maybe they just start from scratch totally, and that's a totally different casting possibly. It's hard to say. I don't know. It's a lot of work on Kyosho's part. So in summary, if you like Countach's, I think you want to look into Kyosho. I don't know if there's another premium brand making, you know, these types of cars. I would have to assume maybe Hot Wheels or Matchbox has done it, but it's safe to also assume that they don't look remotely as good as these. So yeah, you might want to hop on eBay. Some of these Lambos aren't that expensive on eBay. It's worth a look. Okay, well, appreciate you checking in. See you guys around.